Oh, we only have a few more of these. Good old Anne. What's the speed of the rabbit relative to the wolf? Are there two separate objects? Are they moving at different speeds? This is a job for relative speed. Are they moving in the same direction? Bigger minus smaller. I don't care, -8, +8, I said speed. Pinnell, what's number 2 wanting me to find if it says how long? Good. Owen, what did we say A was always in this unit? So really we can say this, D equals VT, except since there's two objects moving, it's VREL. Yes, normally it's plus a half AT squared, but what do we say A was in this unit? So this whole term is just going to vanish. Okay. They want me to find time. How would I get to T by itself? T is going to be D over V. Is there more than one object moving at different speeds? VREL, relative speed. The distance is 12 meters. The speed is 8 meters per second. My units match, so I'm not doing kilometers into meters or kilometers per hour into meters per second or anything like that. 12 divided by 8, divide by 4, divide by 4. 1.5? If you got that right, 2 out of 2. Otherwise, I would probably give you half mark if I saw that equation, half mark if I saw that equation, half mark for the numbers, and a half mark for the answer. Any luck? Oh, I figured that's what it was. I wasn't going to say anything. Pinnell, coming back to you. What's this question asking me to find number 2? What must be there? Loud and proud. But is there more than one object in this question? Are they moving at different speeds? Although the question says find their speed, I'm going to start out by finding the relative speed because there's more than one object moving at different speeds. What's that 180? Yep. What's that 90? Don't care. Right now I'm pretending that everyone is at rest and I'm going to find out how much faster I need to go. What's that 4.8? Oh, and what's A whenever two objects are moving at different speeds for this unit? 0. So I really have this. D equals VREL times T. It's starting to become fascinating. Like, I'm just watching him slowly page through stuff. Would you like a did you do the quiz?
I did it with George yesterday.
Okay.
In class.
We'll look for it later then. What did you say this wants me to find, Pinnell? Speed, and we said VREL. Oh, what's the T doing? And how will I move it over? I guess is going to be D over T. It's going to be 180 divided by 4.8. This might work out nice. I can't remember. 37.5? Now, that's 37.5 meters per second. And that would be if the bad guys were standing still. Really, what we've just found, Pinnell, is that's how much faster the police need to go than the bad guys. But do you notice they gave me the bad guys' speed in kilometers per hour? What's this in? So now I'm going to have to convert VREL into kilometers per hour. It's something to do with the 3.6. Is it times by 3.6? And I get 135. This is kilometers per hour. This is not the answer. This is the relative speed. That's how much faster the police have to go than the bad guys. So the V of the police is going to be 135 plus 90, and those are both in kilometers per hour, so the units match. I could have done that in my head. 225, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really could have done that in my head. If you got that, you get 3 out of 3. And I like this question. I like this question. I like this question. If you did not, I would probably go something like this. Half mark if I saw that. Half mark if I saw that. Half mark if I saw that. Half mark for converting that. Half mark for realizing you added them together. And a half mark for the answer. If you foolishly went, oh, it's going to be 190 plus 37.5, or sorry, 90 plus 37.5 because you didn't look at the units. If you said it was 127.5 kilometers per hour, I would give you 2 marks. I would take it 1 mark off because it drives me crazy when people don't pay attention to units. And I'd probably say, go throw your resume into Verizon because they'll hire you. Is that all right? Why didn't I use any of the time dilation equations? Because we're not going anywhere near light speed. And I didn't say to. But now we're going fast. Time dilation equations. How much time will pass on Earth? Pretty sure this is asking me to find t, which means t on board the spaceship is 8. V is 0.99 c. T is going to be t0 divided by that square root thingy. It's going to be 8 divided by the square root of 1 minus 0.99 c over c all squared. Ethan, do you see? Do you see? Do you see? What do you see? C's cancel. That's why I try and give you the speed as a percentage of light if I can. I'll try doing this in one line. It's going to be 8 divided by square root bracket 1 minus 0.99 squared, close off the square root. Do you get 56.7? I would take that. Congratulations for meeting the minimum expectation I have for every one of my students. I'm so proud of you. 2 out of 2 if you got that. Otherwise, I would probably go 1 mark for that, half mark for the numbers, and a half mark for the answer. If you didn't use the gamma notation, I'd still give you 1 mark. But I tend to abbreviate. 4, same question as number 3, different numbers. So they want me to find t. T0 is 12. V is 0.96 c. T equals T0 over the gamma function. It's going to be 12 divided by the square root of 1 minus 0.96 c over c all squared. Max, do you see? Do you see? Do you see? What do you see? That's always nice. Let's see if I can just kind of backspace and edit. Instead of an 8, I want a 12 there, and then a 96 there. 42.9. If you said 42.8, I'd take a half mark off, unless you said 42.86. If you said 42.85, I'd take a half mark off.
42.85.
Same as before. 1 mark, half mark, half mark. And we turn the page. Now they want me to find the time on board the spaceship. Hey, they want me to find T0. That must mean T is 16, V is 0.99 c. I think T0 is going to be T times that square root thing. Since the square root thingy divides T0, I would multiply it to the other side. It's going to be 16 times the square root of 1 minus 0.99 c over c all squared. Do you see? Do you see? Do you see? If I was typing this in one line, I would go 16 square root bracket 1 minus 0.99 squared. And I'm hoping to get a smaller answer because time moves slower on the spaceship. 2.26. 2.3. Again, 1 mark, half mark, half mark. 5 is the same question, I think. 5 is asking me to find time on board the spaceship. which must mean they gave me time back on Earth. And they must have given me speed. We're going 99.5% of the speed of light. The time dilation here is going to be pretty significant. T0 equals T times the square root thingy. It's going to be 15 times the square root of 1 minus 0.995 C over C all squared. Do I see? Do I see? Yes, I see. You'll get 1.5. It's almost a 10-to-1 ratio. Because 1.5 years versus 15 years. If you go at 99.5% of the speed of light, you'll almost age 10 times slower. Tiny bit less, but really close. Again. Number 7. Ooh, how fast? Now it wants me to find this. Am I going to use VREL? No. We're going near the speed of light. I'm going to use I gave you 3 speed equations on the back of your green sheet. 8 years. Well, that 8 years, is that time or time 0? T or T0? Time on board the spaceship. So that must mean T is 100. V is going to be C times the square root of 1 minus, is it T0 over T all squared? Doing the derivation in my head, and sometimes I get that mixed up. It wants me to give my final answer as a percentage of C. What that means is I'm just going to leave the C as a C. Do you see? But it's going to be the square root of 1 minus 8 over 100 squared. Square root of 1 minus 8 over 100 squared. That's if you wanted to do it in one step. I'd probably type it something like that. Do you get 0.9967948? Do you get... I'll call it 99.68. I would take 99.7. What if instead of asking you to find this speed as a percentage, what if I said find it in meters per second? What would I do with this number? Multiply it by 3 times 10 to the 8th. Yeah. Ooh. Number 8 wants this in meters per second. So again, finding V, T0 is 20, T is 1,000. V is going to be C times the square root of 1 minus T0 over T all squared. It's going to be, well, now I'm doing this in meters per second, so 3 times 10 to the 8th times the square root of 1 minus 20 over 1,000 squared. If I wanted to do this in one step, I would go 3 times 10 to the 8th times square root bracket, 1 minus inside the brackets 20 over 1,000, close off inside, squared, close off the square root. Did y'all get, how about a 2 with 3 nines and a 4? Or a 2 with 3 nines, 2.9994 times 10 to the 8th? For both of these, I would give you probably 1 mark for the number, sorry, for the equation, half mark for the numbers, half mark for the answers. Can you give yourself, same here, by the way, 1 mark for the equation, half mark for the numbers, half mark for the answers. Can you give yourself a lovely score, please, out of 18? Yep.